So growing up with siblings is a kind of a hard thing. Everything is split between you all. Food, attention, toys, everything of the sort. But it gets a little harder when you have two siblings who are diagnosed as being on the autism spectrum. Everything is a little more unevenly split. Well, that's primarily because they have new and different issues that me and my little brother don't have. And it was actually these issues and difficulties that got me to start learning about autism and what got my mom to start teaching me about autism. And one of the first things I kind of realized on my own was about the word retard. Now, I've been hearing the word retard throughout middle school as generally an insult to something or someone that is seen as stupid or dumb. And when I went to go find the definition for it, the first one that actually came up was a transitive verb to delay or impede the development or progress of, to slow up, especially by preventing or hindering advance or accomplishment. And that's opposed to the definition that a lot of people actually use, which is the noun, which is a person affected with an intellectual disability, or more generally, a derogatory term for someone with autism. And I feel as though that this term, retard, it both misrepresents and oversimplifies what autism actually is. Autism is a spectrum disorder. So when someone has it, they can have a variety of symptoms of varying levels of severity. A good way to think of it is kind of like a radio, where you can have all these different channels, each playing, let's say, country music. And no channel will be playing the same song at the same time, or the same style of music at the same time. It'll all be varying differences between them all. And that's kind of what autism is. It is varying levels of this or that, this or that. Now, with autism being a disorder, there are, of course, symptoms to go with it. Some of these symptoms being oversensitivity to physical touch, sound, being very literal, being indifferent to temperature extremes, or not being very imaginative at all. And some of the primary symptoms that come with autism are actually social communication deficits and repetitive or reduced behaviors. For an example, my older sister Brianna, she has a very, very difficult time expressing what she wants when she wants it. And she has a very tough time determining if it's a good idea to take it or not. So if she sees something, say a flash drive on my mom's desk, she won't actually decide if it's a good idea or not, she will just take it. And my older brother, Ryan, he is very set in his routines. Is this, then this, always and every day. But even the slightest change, such as wearing a different pair of pants, something very minor, something that we all do almost every day, he will get so unbelievably upset over it. But there are some good things that can come out of this as well, like my sister. Despite not being able to express her wants or needs outwardly very easily, she's very clever in how she can want those things. So by her second attempt, you always generally know what she is wanting to get. And my brother, because he's very set in routines, he loves the same things and he loves them very deeply. So I could go to my brother and ask him about one of his interests. My Singing Monsters is one of them. And he could tell me everything from the company to any song in it. And it is quite a wonderful thing. And it makes them very nice to know, just as people, like beyond just being siblings with them. But with all these symptoms, with all these symptoms, there are also numbers to show that it is very prevalent in America. In the year 2000, about 1 in 150 children were diagnosed with autism. But now, it's about 1 in 54 children, which is about a 178% increase, according to the CDC. And with autism being so prevalent in America, I find it a little jarring that not many people understand it, or understand it to at least a minor degree. And this kind of came back to me when I was remembering a trip that my family took to New York. Back when there was this massive Toys R Us with this huge Ferris wheel inside that I don't actually think we got around to visiting. It was me, my grandparents, my siblings, and my parents. Me and my little brother, we broke off from my mom, dad, and older siblings and grandfather with our grandmother to just kind of explore, look around. I don't actually think we ended up buying anything. But when we started to regroup with my parents, I noticed that my older siblings were giving them a little bit of a hard time. And with that, I noticed that a lot of people were glaring at my parents and my siblings, whether it was because of my siblings' poor behavior or because they thought that for some reason my parents were mistreating them. It still stuck with me even to this day. And I would hope that despite autism being so prevalent, it's weird that people still give these looks of judgment and all that. So I would like to hope that with this and with further education into autism and the autism spectrum, that you, as well as the general public, will, instead of looking upon parents with children who have difficulties, instead of thinking of the stereotypical brat or the just irresponsible parent, try to be a little bit more compassionate and thoughtful, and try to understand that there are some personal difficulties you might not see. And sometimes most of the time actually, it's a person that you might like getting to know. So just, when you see someone who is having difficulties, stop and give it a full spectrum view. Thank you.